you ever got away with at school. Everyone in my graduating class still swears they took a class with a kid named Miles Cooper. He was in 3 of our yearbooks, won a write-in vote for homecoming, and had a locker on the 2nd floor. Miles never existed. I made him up on a dare, and by June the whole school was defending him to my face. It started with my friend Reese, who bet me $40 I couldn't keep a lie going past homecoming. 1 week, she said, dropping the bills on the cafeteria table like a challenge. You'll crack. I told her I didn't want the 40. I wanted her to admit out loud in front of people that I was smarter than her. She laughed. Deal when you lose. Here's the thing nobody understands about a good lie. You don't build it, you let other people build it for you. I wasn't going to invent a student. I was going to make the school invent him and then remember doing it. So I picked the empty desk in the back of 2nd period history, the one nobody sat in, and I started talking to it. Not loudly, just enough. Miles, you get the notes? I'd mumble, then answer myself under my breath. The first week, one girl asked who I kept whispering to. Miles, he's usually late. She nodded like that explained everything. It did. That's all people need, a name and a reason. Next, I filled out a locker request form for him and slid it into the office tray between 2 real ones. 2 days later, a locker on the 2nd floor had a little printed tag, Cooper, M. I didn't even have to ask. I just put a lock on it and walked away. By October, teachers were the problem, the good kind. Mr. Dorsey started marking a Miles C present because his printed roster had a Miles on it. There was a real Miles who'd transferred in August, so the name was already floating in the system. I just borrowed the ghost. Whenever anyone said which Miles, I'd say Cooper, not the other one, and the confusion did my work for me. The legend grew on its own after that. People started remembering him. A guy in my grade swore Miles lent him a charger once. A girl insisted they'd done a lab together. 2 juniors got into an actual argument about whether Miles played soccer or ran track. Neither. He didn't have legs. He didn't have anything. The best moment came at conferences. The counselor pulled my mom aside and said, "We're a little worried about Miles Cooper's attendance. Do you know him? He's in your kid's grade." My mom, God bless her, said, "Oh, they're close," and squeezed my knee under the table so hard I almost yelped. In the car, she made me explain the whole thing twice, then laughed until she had to pull into a gas station. Then people started trying to catch me. Reese led the charge. She'd text me, "Where's Miles RN?" during class, hoping I'd forget my own story. I never did. I had a whole schedule for him. Study hall 3rd period. A job at a movie theater 2 towns over. A girlfriend at another school so nobody could check. When Reese demanded to meet him, I said sure, then had Miles text her that he was shy. She screenshotted it and sent it to everyone. It only made him more real. In November, he got nominated for a homecoming court spot. I didn't do that. Students did, on a paper ballot, writing in a boy who was made of an empty desk and other people's memories. He didn't win, but he got votes. Real votes. I still have the tally. Spring is when it got dangerous. The yearbook committee emailed asking for Miles Cooper's senior photo, so I found a blurry, half-turned crowd shot from a pep rally, cropped it down to a stranger's shoulder and the back of a head, and submitted it as him. It ran on page 84. Camera shy, the caption said. I wrote that caption. By graduation, half the school was waiting to finally see Miles walk. I'd let it slip that he'd definitely be there. So when the principal, Mr. Okafor, started reading names and got to the C's, the whole senior section leaned forward. "Miles Cooper," he called. Silence. He called it again. Nobody stood. A murmur went through the folding chairs. That's when I climbed onto my seat, held up Reese's crumpled 40 in one hand and the yearbook open to page 84 in the other, and said it loud enough for the whole field to hear. "Miles Cooper can't walk today. He was never real. You all invented him." I just held the door. For 1 full second, 400 people went completely silent. Then it broke. Kids screaming, teachers frozen, one guy yelling, "I lent him my charger." Reese stood up 2 rows over, shook her head, and started clapping before anyone else did. Mr. Okafor looked down at his list, then up at me, and said into the live microphone, "Cooper, see me after." I never did.